I think I am live now. Like probably I don't have a specific agenda for this chat today. And like first I was thinking of probably hello, is audio and everything fine before we get started? Yeah, so I would say like I don't really have an agenda for the chat today, so it would mostly be a talking stream. Like, okay, 1 second, can't hear you. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, everything looks fine. No, like I am not planning to do anything related to coding here. Like this stream is mostly to interact with the chat and probably answer some of the questions from the chat. Hello. I think you should be audible. Hello, hello. Yeah, hello Priyansu. And like although this turns out to be my 100th stream by the way. Not 100th stream but at least the 100th video on this channel. And since I recently 10K subscribers as well, so I thought probably let's interact with chat and have some probably I would be happy to answer some questions. Earlier, I was planning to solve some problems over there, but then I was like, I do it pretty much in every contest, so let's just skip it for today. And this is mostly an informal, casual stream today we have. So yeah, thanks Aditya, thanks RPX, yeah, thanks Aditya. Yeah, like I am from IIT Kanpur. Like I graduated 3 years ago from the college. How do you juggle social media, CP, job, health, etc.? Yeah, that's a pretty good question. So like for social media, like I don't really use much. Like probably like back in college, I used to be a lot more active. These days, I am sometimes active on some of the Discord servers, but pretty much I have stopped. Like for social media, it's more like I have friends who probably if DM me, I revert them back, but I don't really post anything much there. And to answer CP, like CP is mostly these days, I do a contest from 8 to 10. Yeah, I do contest from 8 to 10, and then probably these days it takes 2 hours to discuss the stream, and then I probably have spent some time watching Netflix or something there, and then I go to sleep by 2 and 3. Sometimes it's late as well. And for job, it's pretty much like I probably wake up at around 10. I do it until 5, 6 every day, and this is that. And health is a pretty important question. And to be honest, I would say right now I'm not focusing much on it. And something which I should focus and something which I am doing wrong, but that's where I am right now. And there would be consequences since I'm not focusing much here. Any tips on improving maths? Like, I think a lot of questions will end up being repetitive, and probably like sometimes I will probably end up redirecting people to my Discord server, but probably let's just do it at least once. Yeah, like I would say on LinkedIn as well, like I am not that active. It's more like before I stream, I go there, post, create a post that I would be doing a post contest discussion stream and move on. Like most of people would have by now know, like the DM history is pretty long, and I'm yet to respond to a lot of people there. So like at least some starting tips. At least like I have this Discord server where I have created a clickbait channel which says roadmap to ready in 2 minutes. And probably if you are looking math or some specific topic, my two advices are just look out for some topics on this USAV guide. Like here, like you can find a lot of stuff over there. This is mostly arranged into 4 sections. Bronze, silver, gold, platinum. Bronze is approximately due 3, platinum is harder than due 1. So for example, if you want to probably let's say rated expert also, then you can look out for topics here. And I'm not sure if there is a specific topic on math, but that's where we are. And there is one CP handbook as well, which has a lot of probably a briefly introductory topics there. And you can probably number theory and combinatorics, etc. Few maths topics are there. And then there is one competitive programming 3 4 book. You can probably choose one of them and probably just read some topics there. My suggestion for maths is probably don't focus a lot on learning all the topics, because like the way I have done is probably most of the time I participated in a contest. I tried to solve many problems as I can, and then I tried up solving the problem, and like that was the major way I have been active. So like sometimes if you are short on time, it helps, but probably it won't be like good investment of time to just search out for topics to do them. And probably any tips on improving maths, like the first thing would be like try to prove the problems which you are solving. These days I skip a lot of proofs, but somehow I am managing. But like when I started out, like I used to try to rigorously prove stuff there. Sometimes do it directly in the contest, but after the contest, definitely prove those, and that will help you in long term over there. Like so many achievers and coders, do you plan to open a startup? Like right now, I don't have any plans to open a startup. By the way, congrats for getting 10K. Thanks, Katharis. I hope I am pronouncing your name correct, and sorry if I'm wrong there. I am a candidate master and without a degree, is it possible to get jobs, especially in low level programming? Like without degree, like it becomes a bit difficult, but like you can try out reaching out to new startups which are in probably low level programming domain or etc. Like I have don't have really experience contacting it, but I have seen people like startups generally don't look out for degrees etc over there, unlike big companies there. So what you can probably do is like you can probably start with reaching out startups in the domain you are good at, and there like it should be relatively easy to get a job if you know the stuff on how to work on low level programming stuff. And once you have some professional experience, then you can probably try out in big companies. Like at that point of time, they mostly don't look at degree, rather do you have some experience and you can do something like the work they want there. So like that would be, I think, would be the easier way to get started. Okay, like probably let's move on. Like I'm trying to reach. Right now, I'm in third semester in my college curriculum has DSA in C and then complete months check. I also want to do CP. I am confused which to do. So yeah, like this is pretty common question, like whether you should focus on DP, like computer programming or web development. And I would say like it's not a versus. Like why can't you do both the stuff together? Like obviously it will take quite a lot of time. You can try to balance out on how good you want to be at CP and then how good you want to be at other stuff. Like I'm not sure if I have my resume handy or not, but at least I had some project when I was looking out for a job. And like in like when the current company I'm working at, like I had two on interviews in two different companies on my campus. And like after one of the company took my algorithmic round, like the person was like, will this guy be doing only algorithms when he joined back? And because I had some project, like it was relatively bit easier for me to convince them, no, like I can also do development and so I can say like what projects I had when I was out of college. So like I had some contributions on the TLE bot, very minimal. Like I did wrote this remind bot back then. It was mostly looking at some of the TLE's code and some other code, and like so at least me and one more person I found on Discord, only Mohammed Yasir, we ended up writing this bot. So this was one of the projects I had in my resume. And then there is one auto tester program as well. Like it was some course project which I did. Like and these were two projects I had back then, by the way. So like at this point, like I don't have a binary for this code, etc. But these two major products I had, and then probably some internships and some stuff I did there. Like I did not had a lot of experience with internship because like the year when I completed my 3 years, like COVID just started, and one of the internship offer I had was revoked back then. So like I would say focus on DSA, but there is no reason to just leave development there. Like my recommendation is to try out both the stuff. Any plans to grind back to master? Like I think grandmaster. Like I think I am closer to grandmaster right now, like 30.7. Like I'm not actively planning to do a lot of virtual contests, etc. For me right now, it's mostly like participate in contest. And let's just say due to contest I do can be a part of grind I'm doing right now. Like where are you working currently right now? Like this is one of the question I dodge most of the time, so I will probably skip today as well. Okay, Amit, congrats sir, thank you. Like probably like I work as a software developer in, let's just say, one of the MNC in India, and yeah, like it's a pretty good company, and like I do have a good work life balance and some challenging work there. Hope you improve your sleeping schedule. Like yeah, like it becomes tricky when I am doing the stream and contest, because the stream and contest ends at around 12, then sleep mostly derails to at least 3 back then. I am stuck at newbie since last 3 months. Kindly give a roadmap. Like probably I don't have a lot of explicit roadmap, but I think you can probably check out this Discord channel, roadmap to Reddit. There I have some advices to the people like who want to improve. But someday I will have it, but right now I'm not planning to create a roadmap. I am in fourth year, so I start CP, focus more on development and lead code. Like if you are in fourth year, like my advice to anyone who is looking out for a job within next 6 months, 9 months is to focus on lead code rather than code forces, etc. Because back in my day, what I have seen is like the probability of getting a problem which you have solved on lead code in an interview is much higher compared to code forces. Code forces help if you have quite a long time, like you can probably get pretty good at it, and those skills correlate to job interview. But if you are immediately looking for a job within, let's say, next 6 months, it's better to focus on lead code than code forces. So my advice would be to focus on development and lead code rather than starting the grind on code forces. Like because the initial head start, initial time you need for code forces to probably get good at lead code type problems might be a bit higher. Or another way I put it is like, let's say you have fixed amount of work. The ROI you will get by doing lead code if you are just starting out would be much higher than spending the same amount of time on code forces. I am going to graduate next month in BTech IT. I am preparing for MTech CSE. Please guide how to start code forces. What's the best way? Like how to probably like how to practice on code forces. You can check it out here. Like this solution remains simple. Like if you want to start at code forces, you should register for a contest and participate in it. Try to solve some problems. The problems you cannot solve it, look at the editorial. Or these days you also have probably post contest discussions. Try to look at it, see what observations you could not figure out, try to solve them and keep going. Like this is the simple cycle, which looks simple but requires repeating a lot of time. How did you become ICPC panelist? So like when I graduated from college, like I was probably top 10 on code forces. And to be honest, like there aren't much people who contribute back for the ICPC region. So one day Vichitra, like who works for Codils and one of the co-founders there, he reached out to me like they are looking for people who can probably test problems and propose problems, and I said why not? And like that's how I got added into the Slack channel, etc. they had. And then I ended up proposing few problems that I had, and I also ended up testing few problems there. And pretty much that was it. Like it's a small group around 10-15 people who are right now active in India preparing problems, etc. So like if you are good at CP, like the bar to become a panelist is not much high, I would say. भैया कोड फोर्सेस पे नहीं हो पाते क्वेश्चंस कैसे करूं like probably the only solution I have is look out for the solution, see what observation you could not make and then try doing it. भैया अगर आप फुल्ली फोकस सीपी पे करो तो मे बी यू कैन रीच ग्रैंड मास्टर लाइक I legendary ग्रैंड मास्टर but I don't think that the priority I have. Like one of So like probably what I have seen is like my life won't change much if I become a legendary grandmaster, and I am good with focusing on the stuff I have. So like that's where we are, and CP is mostly a hobby, and like let's just keep it hobby, and that's where we are. How many problems do you upsolve? These days I mostly don't upsolve, but back then I used to try one or two problems. Back like when I started, I used to solve one or two problems. Then I started solving three, four problems. Try to look at the next one or two problem. These days in contest up to due to I just have one or two problem remaining. I just look at their solution, sometimes code. If I don't want, I don't code. Okay, looking good. Thank you. Okay, I think I missed out a lot of messages in the chat where I was. Okay, 1 second. Looks like I lost a lot of messages in the chat. Probably like let me go one by one. Okay, thanks, Neil. How to learn about stress testing? I think like the best way to do it, like you can probably find the stress testing code in the interactive problems I do generally. Like when I solve interactive problems, I write a query function which interacts with the judge and I simulate it there. The easiest way to write a stress test is probably come up with a brute force solution and then probably compare it with your solution. And like probably what I can do is next time when I do a stress test, I can probably share it with the chat. Like I'm assuming like the Neil, yeah, probably. Yeah, like Neil is the Neil who does a legendary master at Codeforces. Like he has interacted few times more in the chat before. So yeah, I'm assuming he's the one over there, not someone else impersonating here. So thanks, Neil. Do you think stress test? Yeah, I do believe stress testing is important sometimes. Like I have done it quite a few times, and it becomes specifically more important when I don't prove my solution. I have some ideas, and stress test helps us getting me counter test cases. I fix them and continue working. I'm mostly stuck on a rating when I try higher like 14, 1300, 14 update. I don't know how to approach this problem. Like I would say like the problem rating never really made sense to me. And like I think like you should probably stop looking at it. The more better way to look at problems is like to see like whether it was a due to C problem, due to D problem. So in general, if you solve problems up to due to D, then you should probably try for reading how to solve due to C, due to D, and most of the time you should just ignore what rating the problem is, because like it mostly subconsciously ends up spending like a mental pressure there. For example, if you see a problem which says it's 1500 and your rating is 1200, you will end up instead of thinking about the solution, you will think more like how probably this problem looks too hard. Can I solve it? Can I solve it? Rather than actually trying to solve the problem. But if you just look at it like this is a due to C problem, which I generally solve up to due to B, and sometimes I can solve due to C problem, so let's try it. So the subconscious bias you have is no longer there, and like that I believe ends up being a bit critical there. So probably just stop looking at one thing you might have noticed in my screencast is I rarely open standing page, and I don't refresh the contest page I have when I'm solving problem. One major reason there is like I don't want to look at how many submissions a particular problem has got, because that subconsciously impacts like whether I think I would be able to solve a problem or not. And same for the rank list as well. Sometimes I do look at it, but most of the time it's like I think I'm mostly done with the content. No, I haven't watched Deadpool and Wolverine yet. I am yet to watch any Deadpool series, to be honest. Like I have watched a lot, almost all the Marvel movies, but Deadpool is not one of them. Like the ones which came up after Iron Man and Avengers saga movies. Can you make a video on all important topics to learn to become candidate master? So like probably like that will require quite a lot of effort, and I don't know, like all the topics is a really big ask. Like if there were few topics, I might, like I was planning to create videos on some topic, then I just became lazy. So like I wanted to create a video on like at least how to prove that small to large technique is an log n, why it's not an square. And for today's stream, like I wanted to solve some easy problems, but then I decided let's just hang out with the chat. Do you do web dev, Linux dev, or anything like in the first team I was like I used to do some of the web development, and these days I have mostly switched to the backend where I code in Go, and then I have some like NoSQL standard like Cassandra, Dockstore, etc. And yeah, that's the tech stack mostly. Tourist 4000, yeah, like that's something extraordinary here. Then, like one thing which a lot of people have forgotten is like tourist was more than 4000 before, earlier as well, probably in 2015 or something. Then people discovered some bug in rating system. They fixed that bug and recalculated the rating back. So like tourist was down less than 4000 again. Like I think I have shared a blog, that blog link as well on Codeforces. And like tourist is one of the goat. Like I don't have much to say about him. Like everyone knows how good he is. Yeah, so probably like system was rating was recalculated definitely, but that doesn't change the fact that tourist rating was 4126 at one point of time. It was around in 2016 or so. I am newbie. Any advice to newbie to CP? Yeah, like you can probably check out this Discord server. I have most of the stuff I want to say. But yeah, can you make a topic-wise data structure for CP with all ideas should be known for? Like these lists are already there, and that won't change much. Like even if I do it, like you can probably check out USAV guide, USSEO guide. Bronze is around due 3, silver is around due 2, gold is around due 1, and platinum is a bit harder than due 1. So if I'm looking at silver, like you can see a lot of topic there, prefixum, sorting, searching, graph, additional topics, etc. So you can try out problems here, and that should be the way to do. And like this list won't change much even if I create it. Probably one day I will do it, but right now I'm not planning to. Congrats, bhai sab. Thanks, money. For due to be which rating? Like I'm not sure if I understood the question. Like what do you mean by due to which rating? Like do you mean like what should be the rating someone should have to consistently solve due to be, or like what was the rating of the due to contest, which probably the last Codeforces contest something like? No, I don't work at Google. If not company, can you say like probably that's the first thing which I want to avoid. Like just some curiosity about how much a like probably if you want to look at top company programmer, just look out for the people who work in HFTs. One data point, I don't work in an HFT, and like I think those compensations are pretty available online. So and those guys would be earning much more than CP करते हुए बाल सफेद हुए क्या? Yeah, probably you can say that. Like or probably I can blame it on the water in the cities I have been. Could you make a video, go for masters or take a job? Depends on what priorities you have. Like I think Subham Jain answered this question on like one of the pin video I have, the one you want video. And there he explained what was his reasoning to go for masters in Stanford and why he probably did not decided to take a job or something. So you can hear out his reasoning there. And at the end of the day, it depends on you, like whether like you spend few more years more while not earning something, and can your family support it, or probably you want to shift to a foreign city there, and then like masters is one most of the time the easiest way there. Okay, hi Lakshya. Like Pathshala was the coaching I studied at for my JEE days. Roadmap to tourists, I think that's something only he can make. No, like how do you approach a problem? Most of the time, it's incrementally thinking about new approaches, and sometimes what I do is probably try to work out different example. Like I think Dominator recently published a problem how to solve questions problem, where he has taken around 7 problems of different complexity. He explained what his reasoning was and what are the general ideas. So you should probably check out this blog there. Yeah, like the tech stack I mostly work on is Go, and then I have few storage system for NoSQL and SQL. Okay, thanks Tech with Sifu, and probably like yeah, I can probably share the resume I had when I was looking for a job 3 to 4 years ago, and I can probably put it on Discord, so you can probably look out there. I don't have it handy with me right now, and probably even if I have handy, like I will probably strip out few of the PIIs from it before sharing it. Or what rating do you consider good at Codeforces? Like I would say good is subjective. Different people have different it, and I would say it mostly depends on what your end goal is. Like probably if you are looking for a job or something, I would say like being expert is most of the time decent enough, and you probably don't need more than candidate master for most of the test there. At least this was the case when I was looking for a job 3 years ago, and I don't really know what's the case right now. ओके, कांग्रेट्स भैया, थैंक यू। पहले तो क्वेश्चन नहीं होते थे, अब देख देख के होने लग गया। थैंक यू। हाउ टू यूज यूएसएसईओ? लाइक या लाइक you can probably choose a section based on what rating you have right now. Bronze is D3, silver is D2, gold is around let's say D1, and platinum is a bit harder than D1. So you can probably start with here, read out some topics here, like, and then each topic has a lot of problems there. So you can probably try to solve these problems here, and like that would be the way to do. And by the CSE is also a good resource. So yeah, you can try out this problem. What is your thought on open source contribution? Like that's one thing I could never really figure out. Like at least I have seen a lot of my friends who have done open source contribution. Like one of my friend whom I was recently talking about, like the guy was in aerospace in Kanpur, and he was doing a bit of electrical stuff, etc. And one day I told him like this is an open source GSOC is something which happens, and this is the pay they make. They do for probably 2 months contribution on a project you want. And like since he did not had any internship after second year, he decided to give it a shot. And like he mostly met me after 2 months, and the only thing he told me was like, hey, I have been selected for GSOC. And then he tried the same for the third year internships as well. And currently then he went to Texas Instrument, like TI. He worked there for 3 months, and 6 months ago he joined a hardware team at Google. So I think it's a good way to get started with something, and then you can have build something over there. So like there is no reason not to contribute on open source. And probably like I would be back in a minute. Okay, I think I'm back. Okay, probably like I think I have done Google test only once when I was in my fourth year, and at that point of time, like different people had different set, and I was able to do only one of them. Although I was international grandmaster back then, and pretty much that's the only experience I had. And probably the best way to look at it would be to just go to LeetCode, discuss, and see what problems have been asked to people before, and are you able to solve it, and probably map them back over here. I'm also trying to learn Go any documentation. Like the for Go, like the first thing I started with was Go by example. And then like since I was coding every day, I got hang of lot of stuff there. And like there was one more book which I read, which is on orally. So like this is a really good book. At least this is the only book I have read, and I found it quite interesting. So you can probably order it, see it. Like it explains a lot of stuff, and it for someone who has coded for at least 3 months in Go, like they will enjoy reading this book. Congrats, bro, on 10K. Thanks. Graduated 2004, going for MSCS Fall 65. How can I grab expert rank during this time? Like, to be honest, I don't have a roadmap, but like, you can probably find some roadmap. And like, there are people who have created roadmaps, by the way. You can probably doubt this. Yeah, like, Clean Colin has a pretty exhaustive roadmap, by the way. So, probably look at it. And like, this one is also quite detailed by the Scarlet, where you can probably look out. And probably someday I will end up adding these links on my this channel, because like this is quite a lot of exhaustive. Like you can probably start out with here. No, like my plan right now is pretty much same. Like I want to continue working where I am, and probably I want to be in software. Like that's the bit I enjoy. So how to prepare for placement in a situation where you wait for PPO? Like if you haven't got, like probably just forget that you can get a PPO. If you end up getting, that would be a bonus, and focus as if you don't have a PPO. How often do you roam around in the world? Like I don't roam often. When are you reaching tourists? Probably never. Like the effort it will require to bring there, it's probably not the ROI. And probably I can spend some more time doing something else. Big fan. Please create some segmentary videos. Like segmentary, like I have created a video on how to install AdCoder library, and that library has a pretty good segmentary template, and you can probably look out for it. How old are you? Let's say probably approximately around 25 years old, plus minus some delta. How to handle lead code hard? The process remains same whether it's lead code, computer programming, or something else. Keep trying to solve lead code hard problem. What's in the fourth tab? I don't think like these were some of the stuff which I ended up explaining people on. Like this, I just opened one wallpaper on Big to have something in the background when I'm speaking, because I did not really figure out like how to set up a background, etc. for Zoom. Sometimes I can't understand the question and have been coding 1 year. I feel bad. Like sometimes, like it's pretty common. Like there would be some theorem which does not have, which you might have to figure out few stuff to get it. So like it's pretty common. Like not understand it. Like if the jump to the next lemma or whatever theorem you have in the editorial is big, and it's a part of them. What's your OS and config like? I use Arch Linux with i3 window manager. Only thing I want to do is CP and math. Should I do masters and PhD through? I don't even have a degree. Like it's a bit tricky question, and probably like I don't really have an answer for it. For due to rating B, what rating should be appropriate for practicing? For due to C, what okay. Like probably the easiest way is to look at recent Codeforces problem and see what rating of the problems are. So for example, if a due to B rating is let's say 1200, average rating for last 10 contests is 1200. So if you are rated more than 1400 or 1500, it's a pretty good chance you will solve it with very high probability. While if you are rated around 1200, like there would be around 50% probability that you would be able to solve it on a day. Can't move past newbie. How do I go above and beyond? Like the process is same. Like keep doing the contest and up to all that's really critical bit over there. And like if you have done let's say probably a lot of question over there, then probably I would say probably try to prove stuff etc. there. Long term plan for YouTube. To be honest, I don't have long term plans right now. When I started, like I started YouTube channel on last year, 1st of December or something. And my plan was mostly I will do it for a year and see where it goes and whether I want to do it or not. So I would say I will have probably 3-4 months more. Then I will see if I want to do it for one more year or probably just stop it. Let's just see. Like how to become newbie, like the easiest way to become newbie is to just make a submission on Codeforces. Like the smallest rank you will get is the newbie there. And in fact, you will need a lot of effort to go to a negative rating. What can you recommend to become reach expert? Like reach expert, specialist, candidate master, it's always the same. Absolve, practice, practice, practice. And like I don't think I have much to say because that's what I have been doing over there. Like my summary, brief summary is like when I started, I used to do codes of long. They were 10 days long contest, and it was pretty good way to learn new stuff over there. Like count of problem per day doesn't really make sense. Like if you start chasing a target, like when you start chasing a target, like you will end up solving more easy problems just to hit that target because people most of the time look out for easy shortcuts there. So rather it should be like how much time you have probably spent trying to solve problems is what matters. And if you ask me how much time I have spent, I don't really have an answer for it to be honest because I did not bother counting it. Like should you attend every contest that comes or you should wait and see in which you do good? It doesn't really make much sense to be honest. Like probably you should do all the contests which you can do, assuming you don't have any other concern. Like if you have time, you should just go for it. Like there is no point in optimizing for every contest trying to get better at something. Like even the rating you would get would be a bit higher, and then you would be afraid to take part again and again. How much questions you have solved in college? Like my all the CP profiles are pretty much public, so you can probably take a look at them. So like that's not really a hidden secret. Like most, I was most active on CodeChef back then. Second one was Codeforces, and probably let's say third one was AdCoder. So these are the major platforms I have been active on. The status as of today is around 2400 on Codeforces. 96 in contest submission, and total problem solved count is around 1200 on CodeSurf. And I don't know where we will can see at Coda, but mostly these are the three major platforms I have been active at. So let's say probably by now I have solved around 5,000 problems, 4,000 here and 1,000 buffer for something else. And like when someone says like I have solved so many problems, most of the time I look at the plot of what is the distribution rating of the problem solved. Like earlier I told like problem rating doesn't matter, but it ends up being a good proxy in long run to see whether you have solved difficult problem or easy problem more. So like let's say solving 1,800 rated problem will not lead you anywhere. But if those 1,000 problems are distributed between 800, 1,200, 1,600, you may probably end up improving. How can I beat a tourist? Like the easiest way to beat tourist is to probably find where he is, take a stick and probably do whatever you want with him. Sir, how to learn number theory? Yeah, like number theory, I would say like there are few initial identity you might want to learn it. So you can probably look out for something here or CSES. I think problem set at few starting theorems you probably need on number theory. So you can start with this. See like the initial set of identity which probably everyone should know, and then you can probably start improving further. Like this should clear out with the basics you need, and then it's more like figuring out all the identities and keep going and solving a lot of problems, I would say. No, like there are definitely people a lot better than me in India. Like Dominator and Sitish Sodani and Jatin Yadav are the one who are still active. And in past as well, like Rahul Lugar, Kalas, yes, Sandani, etc. were a lot better than me. And if you just pull them out today, also on a random day, they will do much better than me, Cerberus, etc. And there were many more who used to be a lot active on Codeforces before even I started. So like that's where we are. Do you miss binarysearch.io? To be honest, like I didn't really tried much on it. So I wasn't much active there. So like since I did not use much, let's just say I don't miss it. From people what I have heard it like it was a really good platform to probably do like pair programming. But I did not really use. Does IQ matters? Am I too dumb that where is the question? Like I don't think I'm not sure if I missed out a question in chat. Do you think if any problem give to you, you will be able? I don't think I would be able to solve every problem you give it to me, and that's where we are. Okay, does IQ matter? I am too dumb that I'm unable to solve more than two problems on purpose. Like I think I have answered it on Twitter before. I can try to find it. Okay, if someone asks me, can I be GM? I would say yes, but don't ask me how long it can take. Maybe the effort required to do that can be better spent somewhere else. Or probably I think I had one more chat over here which is missing here. Like the way I put it is like your background definitely matters depending on like how fast you pick the initial steps. But at the end of the day, like only in the initial step, at the end of the day, it matters how long you keep practicing. Someone who is probably good at math or something would be, let's say, candidate master much faster, but you can end up beating them if the guy is not practicing enough. But it also depends on whether that this effort required would be good for it. Or like I'm not sure how can I put it correctly, but this is the question I have answered quite a few times. But probably I'm missing out the words there. And I think that Twitter chain above probably answers it. Okay, will you become GM? Like that's not in my hands. Like it depends on how good I perform in a contest, and that's where it is. How to learn light chow segmentary? Like I think I know what convex hull trick is, but lights out tree is something which I don't think I have learned it. And people sometimes say they are same, so they are different. I don't really know. Bro, solve lead code contest problem as well. Like probably like I think like the main reason why I stopped was like 1 second. Let me think. Why did I stop? Yeah, like on Sunday I don't want to wake up early, and on Saturday most of the time lead code classes with the ed coder discussion stream I do. So like I did not really had enough time for it. Like can one become Codeforces master in 1 day or not because I am in third year? Like I think like it's a bad idea to estimate like how long someone can be a grandmaster or not. Like each person is different and the amount of time required would be different for each person. Like why did you stop Codeforces? Let's say sometimes I have meeting classes etc. and sometimes I become too lazy. And if both of them do not happen, then I end up doing Codeforces. Tell me more about your JE story. Like, it was mostly me participating, trying to solve different shades for 2 years. Like, when I got admitted to a coaching, like, the only thing I wanted was like someone should be better at teaching me math or something. And when I was admitted, I definitely did not know what JE is or what IIT etc. is. And like in the first year, like I used to do homework etc. Like the only thing I did there was I did not miss a single class there, not something. And like this ends up being critical in the coaching institute because they cover a lot of stuff in a 2 hour lesson or something, and once you have a backlog it becomes difficult to complete it. How can anybody solve due to ABC under 10 minutes with all the stuff reading, understanding, implementing? So I would say it's like probably due to ABC most of the time don't require more than 10-20 line of code most of the times. And like summation etc, like people do have like most of the time people just skip some of the parts and guess what is the problem statement being asked. What is the ratio of lead code to code forces rating? I don't know, to be honest. My rating is around, let's say, 2300 on code and 3000 on, like 3000 on lead code, while Neil probably has 3500 or 3600 on lead code, highest on lead code, and probably 3000 or something more on code. So I think it's around 1 hour when we start. Yeah, the answer is yes. I'm working as full time somewhere, and yeah, that's where most of my days spend. How will software engineering look like in 4 to 5 years forward? Like the way I see is like generative AI has done a lot of stuff and can help automate a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, you will need someone to verify whether the code written is good enough or not. So like people are here to stay. A lot of things would be automated. Like people would be able to write code much faster, but it's not like I believe like AI would completely end up replacing human. I may be wrong, but like reaction on tourist, like it was expected like he would hit end up getting 4,000 there. What do you do other than CP? Let's just say a job and sometimes I go play badminton or something. Please make theory videos other than screencast. Like theory videos, etc., do require a lot of time and energy, and probably I end up procrastinating it. That's what I can say. Do you have as much confidence that you can crack any interview of PSA? Like confidence is a bit different from like whether I would be able to crack it or not. Like if someone wants to ask a really hard question, then definitely I won't be able to do it. Or if someone is probably asking like lead code easy medium, I'm hopeful that I would be able to solve it. But at the end of the day, luck also matters and how good your day is. Why tourist doesn't give lead code? Probably let's just say they are too easy for him, and that's all. How should prepare for ICPC? Like yeah, like that's a bit good question I would say. And my suggestion would be like probably like the teamwork is really important in ICPC. So like probably find few people with whom you can collaborate. Then on course of core process content compete against each other, and also try to have a good coverage of all the different topics, and try to see if your teammates can complement you based on what topics you have. Someone might be good at geometry, someone might be good at graphs, someone might be good at ad hoc. Try to form a team which where you all can complement each other rather than you all being just good at one of the two topics, and try to solve a lot of team contests. Like there is one, like back then there weren't much contest there, but I think these days, 1 second, yeah, like the Universal Cup organizes team contest every 1 week or 2 week. You can try to take part in them. There is a Discord server where you can discuss these problems with different people, and like you should definitely try out Universal Cup. If you are serious for ICPC, and try to solve them in a team. 5 hour contest every week, and this. No, I don't think white hair is necessary for Grandmaster. But let's just say green hair is necessary for being Grandmaster. And like, I'm looking out for some specific topics. Wait, how many problems did Amazon have? Okay, where did the blog go? Like, Like if I don't become international grandmaster before New Year, I will dye my hair and Quran according to my true skills for a week. So like Anton did fail this challenge back then. So let's just say gray hair based on one data point. Gray, like green hair or cyan color hair is necessary for international grandmaster. Like he also had a photo for it, but I could not find it right now. So I don't know about grandmaster, but I know about international grandmaster. Let's just say put it that way. Yes, is CS for solving? I would say yes. Like it contains a lot of standard topic one should be probably look at earlier. So like you should definitely solve CSES problems, right? Although I haven't solved it, but in my defense, I would say like most of the problems were easy when this list came out, and then I was also lazy. Can you share your CP template? Like you can probably find my template on any of the submission. I have just changed the main function here. Like how to solve fast. Like there is no shortcut here, to be honest. So like how to grow faster. Like I think my advice is same. Like look out for this roadmap to read in 2 minutes channel on my Discord server. Like those are the starting advice which I would give to anyone. Like to be honest, I have no idea about jobs abroad because I did not really applied for any of them. Like how is your health? I think it's good right now because like probably I am in my 20s and 30s. But if I don't focus much on it, like I may see some consequences after 35, 40, let's say. Can you coach me for ICPC? Unfortunately, I don't have much time, so probably I won't be able to do it. I am definitely less than 30 years old. Let's just put it this way, and probably much less than 30. Like, in which year did you started doing CP? Let's say it was 2017 when I joined my college. Yeah, like typing speed, I would say it doesn't really matter when it comes to competitive programming. I got habituated to it because it's the same keyboard which I have been using for 3 to 4 years now. It's a red gear mechanical keyboard, and like I don't know which model it is, but I have been using this for last 3 to 4 years. And like how to code well is probably something like I would say like first think about what the solution would be, then start spend a few seconds to see how you would organize your code, and then probably start coding it. For Java CP, whom should I follow? Like I'm not sure who is active right now, but Glean Calling and Second Thread were quite active and used to code in Java. Peter is one. I think these days he has switched to C++, but he used to code a lot in Java. Yeah, like when I started, I used to code in C only, like first 3 to 4 months or so. Then one day I sat and looked at different data structures present in STL. I made one or two notes on different functions I can use, and then I just switched to C++. So like the bar to use switch to C++ from C isn't much higher. Just look at what set, queue, stack, etc. is, and then you can just get started. भाई आप अभी स्टार्ट करते हैं, टू बी ऑनेस्ट आई डोंट नो। Like, how do you manage job and consistent at code contest and absolving? It's always about priorities. Like, my first priority is the work I have, and then fortunately I end up having some more time later in the day after it, so I just participate in it. Like, same was the case when I was in college as well. Like, the reason I used to be consistent was like I knew like I will participate in it and probably leave out few other stuff. Like, for any topic, like the simplest way is to first look out for the first problem you have, and then Google is your best friend. Like, there is no best resource, just look at something you got, and when you feel, start reading all the blogs or videos you find, and once you think you have good enough idea of some topics, then you can probably stop reading about it. As simple as that. Like, I will be honest, like I never really coded in Java, and like when I started development, like first it was Python on the Discord bot, etc., which I created, and then I switched back to Go. And it's fine to do both CP and dev in Java. Like, most of the problems are in fact solvable in Java. I feel that IIT, okay, like I would say like one thing which separates IIT from other is like when like I started CP, like there was just Nani who was my college senior, and he was around 2600 when most of the people were 1600. So you always had someone to look at up to you. And it was not just about CP, whether you want machine learning or whether you want to go to masters about or anything you want to do, there would be a college senior who would have done much better in that. And then, so like you can probably ask him for some advice, and you can just keep doing stuff over there, and that should be. Do you watch science video? Most of the time, no. But the answer is same. If you ask me, do I watch my own videos after the contest? The answer is no. Like, I did watch his some of initial videos, and they were really good. Like the center decomposition one here. And to be honest, like I don't have like I would say like even when I watch a movie or something, most of the time I do some other stuff around over there. So like I would have some other blog. Like most of the time, people say I listen to a movie rather than I watch a movie. So you can probably make out what you want out of it. And like I enjoy reading Codeforces, Codeserve, etc. blogs much more than watching videos. This is this is someone who is saying who might create some videos in future, but that's where yeah. Like I like reading more than watching other. Like any seat for CP, like you can probably look out for Neat Code 75 or Striver seat you have. Like those are for DSA, and probably for CP you can look at CSES problem set. It's a kind of seat in itself. CP handbook is another one such thing. Like the roadmap is same. Like you can probably look out on Discord server roadmap to read in 2 minutes. Like no one can become read in 2 minutes, but these are some things I would say someone who is asking me for an advice. Is Gate syllabus good enough? To be honest, I don't know. Like I never really prepared for Gate, so I don't know what syllabus is there and how much it correlates to other stuff. Space complexity definitely matters, just like time complexity. Most of the problems have a memory limit as well. I got sorted in SRIB. Like, I'm not sure what does it means. Does it mean Samsung Research? And I'm not sure full form of I, but B can be Bangalore. Samsung Research Institute Bangalore. Probably let's just say SCRIB means that. Now I want to explore CP, and I'm currently at UP. Can you suggest me like, yeah, like you can probably check out this channel on the Discord server and see what advice I have for people. As a newbie coming from 3-year degree college with basic theory skill, will I be like to like the barrier to start CP is not much. You just need a You just need an email account to create an account on Codeforces. Like, how do I manage time with college hours? Like, if you feel like probably like you have a compulsory attendance, and then you can probably try to solve problems on a paper or something. Like in class, you can definitely not code, but no one is stopping you to think about problems there. Like that is something you can try. Like think about take 5 10 problems which you want to try out for in class. You can definitely think about it, and then you can probably code it when you are back home. Can we do CP in Python? Like some people have done it, and like there are people who became grandmaster with by coding on in Python. And if you want to do it with Python, like there is one library PyRavel, you should definitely check it out. Like this had a lot of common algorithms which people need and written in Python. Will ICPC happen again? Like ICPC happens every year, excluding the COVID years where it was delayed, but like they are sometimes delayed, but they do happen every year. No, I was not a CSA student. Like I graduated with a bachelor's in electrical engineering. What do you do when you face rating saturation? Like if you look at my rating graph, like I'm pretty much saturated around let's say 2400 or so. Like between 2200 and 2400, and so like I have been pretty constant in this thing, but that's fine. Like the only thing you can do is probably try solving problems, try to solve more problems. Like there isn't much you can probably do over here. Like which type of problems I would say, like don't, like probably the easiest is to just keep solving the contest problem, because those are the ones which are coming, and that's where, yeah. Okay, I have a Cisco online assessment, all the best for it. And what should I practice? Like one advice which I give is probably just look out for recent read code discussion, see like what type of problems were asked in Cisco and try to solve them. Will doing CP help me get into quant? Like at least what I have seen is like apart from CP, like quant companies do care about your college a bit, and also probably how good are you at probability, etc. over there, and your CGP as well. You can definitely find something somewhere, but if your goal is to just go to the one which pays a lot, then I'm not sure. Like I'd never really applied for a quant to be honest. Like apart from CP, what should I do? Don't know what is going to happen in the future. Should I start dev AI or not? Like it's futile to think about future to be honest. Just see what is happening right now and keep assume that that will be happen. If something changes, like it's the grind which matters always, and you can probably switch different stuff there. You can start with dev AI ML, like any of them doesn't really matter. Like how did you manage? It's always about priorities to be honest. Like there were few things which I did, but I don't recommend others to do. So probably let's, like when will ICPC start? Like to be honest, your source of information, like when ICPC will start is same as mine. The only way I would find out by would be by looking at ICPC website. Like there is no internal info there, and like once people figure out, they start thinking about problems and start creating them. Like we don't get any heads up before the it's get puts up on the online website. How do you prove greedy? Like exchange argument is the first thing probably to look out for. Like there are multiple lectures, videos on it, and like this is the most common used technique to prove greedy stuff. And then the next one is probably proof by contradiction, or like let's just say exchange argument is the most used. Like you saw USA CEO guide, like I define generally bronze division between 3 and 3.5, let's say div 3, silver as div 2, gold as div 1, and platinum higher than div 1. Let's put it this way. No, like it's fine to start with Codeforces first, then LeetCode, like if you're just starting out. Like I started from CodeChef, did it for 6 months or so. Then I started doing CodeChef, Codeforces both. And most of the time I was switching between these two platforms. And there were a few other like I don't know like how much I did at Coder back then, but that's it. Like any suggestion to reach expert, like it's same as just keep grinding, try to absolve, and like that's the only way to get good at CP. Like there are no shortcuts there. Your CGPA, let's say it's less than 7 and more than 6. No, like vector with graph and map, like it might depend on like how you are implementing, but adjacency list as vector works best most of the time. Like would definitely choose CP for fun. Like at least when I started, no one was saying to me do CP because you will get good placement. That was not how why people used to do CP back in 2017. And there weren't a lot of influencers back then who used to recommend CP for placement. Like people used to do algorithms few months before CP if they wanted to crack some test or. But at least it was not the norm. Like someone wants a good placement, so they start doing CP because someone told them to do it. I will see if I will participate in. I am planning to participate in Due 3 tomorrow, but let's see if there is some change. So like special stream, let's just say chat Q&A. Like I wanted to solve some problems, but then I decided not to do and just keep it a Q&A stream. How to stay motivated? It's always about priorities, and Hi Tyro is like big fan here. I don't think I can solve every problem on LeetCode, but I would say I can solve majority of the problems on LeetCode. Like just one recent example, like there was a circle problem recently. I tried like I was looking at what the new meta is after the ChatGPT solved all problems happened. And to be honest, I was not able to solve that circle one problem. So like all problems is too hard, but majority of them the answer can be. Like paper, I would say is a must. Does not matter what your rating is. Probably you don't need it for easier problem, but you definitely need it for the harder problem. Like what topics? Like I don't have a list handy, but you can probably look at USAV guide and CP handbook. Like cannot able to solve more than two problems on lead code suggestion. The process can probably start solving easy problem. And like one thing you can probably do is like there are few seats on lead code like top 100 easy problem, top 100 medium problem, top 100 inter problem. You can start by solving them first, and then you can probably look out for this one. Like if you ask me goat of CP, like I would say Jatin and Yes Chandani. Jatin Yadav and Yes Chandani. Like though, and probably how can I forget Cerberus, to be honest? Like Cerberus also was really good there. And I don't know about how others like Rajat Day is also one of like who used to do a lot of complete programming, and he was really like hit around 2600 in 2017-18 or so. But after I started, like Rajat was not much active, to be honest, and I don't know about people before it. Like I want to become like you. How should I proceed? Like the first expectation is like you should be consistently participating in contests trying to solve them, and once you are there you can probably look out for this channel. My only advice is try to solve the problems and try to participate in a lot of fun. Like yes, Dominator is definitely much better than me. Like there is not a this is not a question, to be honest. It's Codes of Premium subscription worth it? Like to be honest, I haven't really checked what's there in Codes of Premium or subscription. It was not there when I used to be active, and right now I don't know what all it offers there. What mistakes you would avoid? Like I would say like if I have to go back in time, then I think I would have focused a relatively bit more on my college studies, which I ended up ignoring a lot. Although like I ended up being good at somewhere in the end, but mostly I call myself lucky there. Peter or tourist, probably like I think I would avoid comparing them. Like Peter was the OG when he was quite active, and now when tourist started, like he, I get frustrated when I can't solve a problem. Like getting frustrated is not an option we have, to be honest. Like probably try to see what where mistakes you made, and probably you have. Like these days I don't prove every problem. I do go by intuition, and sometimes I end up getting a lot of delays. But I do used to prove a lot of stuff earlier. Like I don't know about Google interview because I never gave it. Like I won't say LeetCode is a formula based question paper. Like definitely the problems are relatively easier than Codeforces, but they are still the problems again. Like I think I will do more code substream. Not that I have completely stopped it, but sometimes some other priorities take over. And Wednesday is a weekday. Like I'm doing CP because I'm interested and it's a mind sport. Super sure about your logic. Like it's mostly, I would say, comes with a bit of experience. Like CP incident which made you laugh. Like there would be many, but I am not sure if I can recall them now. And I think probably I will probably continue stream for 10 more minutes and then I think we will call it a day today. Like it's around 11:30 and it's around right now 80 minutes since I started. Let's just keep a stop at 90 minutes. आज का लीड कोड डिस्कस हो गया क्या? Like I don't think I have been discussing lead code for quite a few months now. How many hours do you sleep? I try to sleep for at least 7 hours a day. Do you use ChatGPT between contests? The answer is no. Because I think whatever the ChatGPT will give me as an answer, I would probably code it faster rather than asking ChatGPT. ये confidence मुझे भी चाहिए. I think with practice you will get it. Like setup is not something which I have worked on yet, and probably I think for now it matters more whether I can explain people more rather than trying to do some fancy stuff. Yeah, like I live in India. Like किस country में हो currently? Let's say the choice if you are not working remotely as a software engineer in India are pretty limited. So it's one of them. आप गेम अगर आप खेलते हो क्या? No, I don't play games. Like let's just say my eyesight does not allows me, like doctor's recommendation is to reduce the screen time, which unfortunately I can't. So I don't want to increase it by playing games. Like when I was small, like Mario was definitely my favorite game, and I used to enjoy video games a lot. What is the first strategy to solve any problem? Like the very first thing you need is read the problem statement correctly, and then try to simplify stuff there. And like different people require different problems might require different ideas there. Like this is a really good blog by Dominator. Like where is it? How to solve questions. You should probably check this blog. Like it's a really good blog. So like DP, I would say like first look at like few standard problems, and then remaining it comes with practice. How do you approach new algorithms while learning? Like the thing which I do is like sometimes if I find something new in a code process blog or something, I end up searching topics for it, blogs for it, and try to read them. So like probably I generally solve three problems in D1, and those generally don't have much new topics at this point of time. So that's where we are. Like how to approach a problem to which I have no idea. Like the first thing is try to see a brute force solution and then try to see what type of properties the answer can have. Like I think Dominator pretty much summarizes what should be done, how to approach a problem. Like how much time should one look for solution? I would say like the way I would suggest is probably have a list of 10, 12 problems which you are trying one after the other. Subconsciously keep thinking about them, and if you are not making any progress, just look out for one or two hint on the one of the problems, and if you solve some problem, just remove it and replace some problem over there. And like probably if you are not making any progress on those 10, 12 problems which you are solving in one go, look out for some hints there, and with time you will figure out like how much time you should probably spend somewhere. I definitely think CGPA matters. Just because I was lucky doesn't mean CGPA definitely matters. And yeah, very well. Let's try talking using to be honest. I told you. Yeah, like virtual contests definitely helps. And like if you do them seriously. मिड सेम और एंड सेम के टाइम कितना और कैसे और कितना टाइम देना लाइक you would figure out like how much time you have to spend for your studies, and you can probably spend remaining time doing CP. It's fine not to do anything on exam days. That's also fine. Like participation definitely has increased 10x. 2000 was the count if you or less than 2000 for the initial core courses days. These days on due 3 due 4 it's 44,000. Like I graduated from IIT Kanpur 3 to 4 years ago. No, like I am definitely not planning for going in the management role, but let's see like what's there in future. Like suggestions on DP, like the first one is CSCS handbook, complete programmer handbook, CSCS problem set, and then this USACO guide. Search for DP related topics here. This can be the starting. No, what advice I would say probably procrastinate a bit less, and probably I would have focused more on my college studies when if I have to give some advice to my past self. So I think the stream is almost 90 minutes, and I think I will probably end it now. Like I wasn't expecting like I would have this long string, but that's fine. So probably like I can take two more questions from the chat and then I will call it a day. Okay, why don't I want to be going company X? Because it's a dream job for everyone. Let's just say I enjoy work I'm doing right now and I don't want to change. When do you know you have done enough questions on a given topic? Like any amount of questions will never be enough for any topic. So it's probably more about like it's more about like if you feel confident enough, you can probably try out doing some other. Like to understand the solution, like just try to prove stuff which have been mentioned in the tutorial. Like to be honest, I don't know about Ask Senior. Like I haven't really explored their platform, what all they have to offer there. So probably my feedback right now would be neutral. Yes, like tourists did reach 4,000. Like a CP course does require a lot of effort, and at this point, I don't want to spend time there. Let's just put it this way. Like to be honest, cheating does not makes much sense to me because like I don't think like I was always interviewed wherever I tried, and at the end of the day, these are just some internet points. Why India doesn't have a legendary grandmaster? I think it has been answered a lot of time on Codeforces. Like probably my plan was not to discuss any problem in this stream today, so definitely I will avoid. What happened to challenge again? The one you want, like the one you want, retired after challenging me, and I am not good enough to meet the bar. So he just retired out of it after challenging me for IGM, and I am not good enough to reach IGM, so the challenge is still open. Like I don't think I have a solution for checking. Like my suggestion is more to focus on yourself rather than looking around. Like if you see my motto for a long lot of time, it used to be compete against yourself. So I think I will probably end the stream now. So thanks everyone who is here so far, and thanks a lot. I think for next few months I still plan to continue with post contest discussion stream, and then I will see if I want to continue or that's it. What's my answer? Like my answer is mostly same as others. Like probably like CP does require a lot of stuff, lot of time to be get good at legendary grandmaster. and most of the people start in college, and 4 years most of the time aren't enough. But like there are people who have been close to legendary grandmaster. Class started after stopped doing after reaching 2900. And probably if I have to make a bet on it, I would say Citij or Dominator have pretty good chance of getting legendary grandmaster. Like Dominator right now is around 2800. That something 2900 has been the max in India. And Citij last I saw was more than 2600. And then I'm not sure if he participated in recent contest or not. And like Kshitij is yet to go into a college, while Dominator has just completed 1 year of college, so they have a long future ahead. So I think that's all, and I think I will end the stream now. So thanks a lot for everyone for joining today. Like I don't know what ramming contest is, but I don't know the age of Dominator to be honest. I just know I think he has completed 1 year in college. Might be 2 years, but I think it's 1 year. So thanks everyone for joining today.